Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're tackling one of the most frustrating grammar rules out there, the present simple tense. We have one massive goal today, and that's to completely demystify subject-verb agreement, especially the whole adding s and es thing. Seriously, by the end of this, you're going to be using base verbs like a pro. No more guessing, I promise. Here's our roadmap to grammar mastery. We'll start with the golden rule of subjects and verbs, then look at exactly how to spell those s and es endings, uncover the frequency keywords, and finally, we'll practice with some real questions. All right, section 1, the golden rule of subjects and verbs. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so here's the ultimate question that always pops up during tests. When do we actually add an s to a verb? It's so easy to just guess and hope for the best, right? Well, today we are building a simple, foolproof, logical system so you will never have to guess again. Here is the number one rule for the present simple tense. I like to call it the seesaw trick. Think about it like balancing a seesaw. The weight has to be on one side or the other. If the subject is singular, meaning just one person or thing, like he, she, it, or a boy, the subject has no s, right? So the verb has to take on the weight and gets the s or es. On the flip side, if the subject is plural, like you, we, they, or the boys, the subject already has the s or represents multiple people. So the verb is perfectly balanced and stays in its base form. So just remember, subject has an s, the verb doesn't. Subject has no s, the verb gets one. Oh, and just a quick side note, I and you are special exceptions. They always take the base verb with no s. Now, take a look at this cheat sheet. It brilliantly lays out the whole structure. You can clearly see how plural subjects like I, you, we, and they just use the base verb. But the second you switch to a singular subject like he, she, or it, boom, it triggers that s or es ending on the verb. This affirmative sentence structure is absolutely crucial to memorize. Moving on to section 2, how to actually add s and es. Let's look at the spelling mechanics. So now we know when to add the ending, but how do we spell it? There are just 3 quick rules. Number 1, for normal verbs, just slap an s on there. Come becomes comes. Number 2, if the verb ends in an o, s, ch, x, or z, basically those breathy or buzzing sounds, you add es. So go becomes goes, and catch becomes catches. And number 3, the tricky one, verbs ending in y. If there's a consonant right before the y, you drop the y, change it to an I, and add es, like study turning into studies. But wait, if there's a vowel, a, e, I, o, u, before the y, don't change a thing. Just add an s, like play to plays. See? When you break it down like a giant puzzle, it's really not that complicated. All right, section 3, frequency keywords. This is basically your cheat code. Imagine you're taking a test and you have a built-in radar telling you exactly when to use the present simple. Well, these adverbs of frequency are that radar. If you spot words like always, usually, often, or any of the every phrases like every day or every week, they are literally screaming at you, use verb 1. These words signal a habit, a fact, or a routine. Now, I want to give a massive shout out to one specific phrase here, every other day. Test makers love to use this one as a trap. It doesn't mean every day. It means skipping a day in between. But it's still a frequency. So when you see these key words, get ready to use that seesaw trick. Okay, section 4. Let's practice what we've learned with some real questions. All right, you've got the tools, you've got the cheat codes. It's time for the final boss battle. We're going to apply everything we just covered. Take a deep breath. Keep that seesaw trick in mind. Because we are jumping straight into the practice test. Let's go. He blank academic journals every day. Notice anything? Yep, our cheat code keyword is sitting right there at the end. Every day means frequency, which guarantees present simple. So we can instantly cross out the choices that aren't base verbs, like reading and to read. Now we're down to read or reads. Take a second to think about it. And the correct answer is reads with an S. This is the seesaw trick in action. Our subject is he, which is just one person. It's singular. Since the subject has no S, the verb has to carry the weight and gets the S. He reads. Super simple, but incredibly powerful, right? Let's look at question 2. This one tries to distract you with some extra vocabulary. Some of the students often blank at the shelter. Here's a tip. You don't even need to translate every single word. Just hunt for the key word. We see often right there in the middle. That's our green light for present simple. So goodbye to the past tense volunteered, and the future tense will volunteer. We're left with volunteer and volunteers. Which one are you picking? If you guessed volunteer without the S, you nailed it. Why? Let's check our golden rule. The subject is students. Notice how the test already put an S on that word for us? It's a plural subject. So since the left side of our seesaw already has an S, the verb on the right side stays pure and untouched. No extra S needed. Now for the final question, and this one's got a double trap. My friend and I blank at the gym every other day. First up, our frequency keyword is that tricky phrase we talked about, every other day. That locks us into the present simple. But the subject is where people usually trip up. What do you think the answer is? The right answer is exercise with no S. You might have looked at the word I right before the blank and thought, oh, I is singular. But hold on. The full subject is my friend and I. That's two people. And since it's plural, the seesaw is balanced and the verb doesn't get an S. See? When you have a solid system, these test traps literally can't fool you. Absolutely awesome job, everyone! You have completely cracked the code for subject-verb agreement in the present simple tense. Whether they throw singular subjects, plural subjects, or tricky frequency keywords at you, you've got this on lock. But, English grammar always has another puzzle waiting. So here's something to chew on. Now that you've mastered the present simple, how are you going to spot the traps they set for the present continuous tense? It looks similar, but works in completely different ways. Well, we'll dive into that exact mystery in our next explainer. Keep practicing, be confident in your grammar, and I'll catch you next time.